Good morning everybody, it's Miss Pinder here from the string team, and this morning I thought we'd look at some of the really important things to think about when we are looking at a brand new piece of music. So I've got a piece here that you will find attached to this little message, hopefully, and it's called German Dance. And this is an ensemble piece, so it means that there are different parts to look at. So there are two violin parts, violin 1 and violin 2. There's a viola part, there's a cello part, and there's a bass part. So if you want to, you can have a look at the part as we're going through some of these important things. And then we're going to have a little go at playing it at the end. Or you can just think about the things that we talk about with any new piece of music that you look at. Hopefully these things will apply. So the first thing that we need to think about when we look at a new piece of music is our key signature. So that's the sharps and flats that go next to the clef here at the top. And in our German dance we've got two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So I think that means we're going to be in the key of D major. So it's always a good thing to do to warm up with the scale of the key that we're in. So let's play a little D major scale. And I like to put nice funky rhythms on my scales to make them a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to take Fish and Chips and Ice Cream. So let's play our D major scale with that rhythm. So now we've warmed up our bowing arm, but we've also warmed up our left hand in the right key that we're going to be playing in. So that's always a good place to start. I think the next thing that we look at, just check, is our time signature. So how many beats we've got in the bar. So we've got 2/4 in this piece. That means there's 2 beats in the bar. And so if you're counting bars rest or just counting to keep yourself in time, you're going to be counting up to 2. Next thing to do probably is just to check any tricky rhythms. Now in this piece we've got lots of quavers and crotchets, and we're going to take it nice and steady. So our crotchet beat is going to be nice and slow, and then when we make our quavers happen, obviously they're half of that crotchet beat, so they're a little bit quicker. Okay. So check any nasty bars of rhythm. You might want to clap some of the rhythms just to make sure that you're really sure of how they're going to go. Notice in some of the parts we've got the word pizz written at the beginning. So pizz is short for pizzicato, which means that you need to have your plucking fingers ready. But look for where it says arco, because that's when you need to get your bow ready. So for some of the parts, there's pizzicato and arco to look out for. As you're looking through at some of the notes, can you spot scale patterns? I think there are lots of scale patterns in this piece. And if you can find your scale patterns, that's really useful because you can see that they're coming up and you know you can play your scale because you've just done it. So find those scale patterns and think, I know exactly what to do when I get there, because it's just a nice straightforward scale. So always good to look for the scales when you're sight reading anything. So when you've had a little go at some of the notes in this and see if you can get the notes and the rhythms in the right place, it's time to look for the extra things that make a piece of music really magical. Things like dynamics. So if you can see some letter P or letter F, we've got quite a few of them in that part there. P, remember, is piano, so we play really quietly. And F, you can play much louder, that's forte. And if you've got an M before either the P or the F, so MF or MP, that just means it's a moderate version, so we're quite loud or quite quiet. So make sure you observe those dynamics as you play. And finally, in this piece, we've got some funny symbols that look a little bit like arrows. You see above those notes there? They are our accents, and that just means that we play those notes really strongly and with lots and lots of sound. Big gap between the bows, so that it just sounds really bold and strong and confident. So if you've got accents, make sure your bow's ready to be really lively. Big gaps between those accented notes. So those are some of the things that we need to be looking at when we're looking at any new piece of music. But let's now play our German dance. I'm going to play it for you. Just be careful if you're looking at the first violin part, because you've got bars rest at the beginning. You've got a block of 2 bars rest. So that means that after I've counted in and you hear the music, that's when everybody else starts, but you need to make sure in the first violin part you count your 2 bars rest. So you'll count 1, 2, 2, 2, and then you play. Okay, so let's give it a go. So I'll count 2 bars in for everybody, and then the first wait a little bit longer. So 1, 2, 1, 2. I hope that's been really useful and helpful, and I hope you enjoy playing German dance.